Welcome to Dropping In, a podcast of storytelling and interviews with your host, Winter Olympian Mercedes Nicoll.
Thank you so much for dropping in on Series 10. Now, this is series where I talk to Whistler kids. I've already done it in one series, and this is the second time I'm doing a whole nother 10-episode series with amazing Whistler kids. Now, if you're not sure what Whistler is, it's a resort mountain town with two amazing mountains in our backyard, Whistler and Blackcomb. But not only do we have athletes in this town, as you've listened and watched the previous episodes, I've had business leaders, editors, writers, a lot of very cool people from this town, as well as athletes. So this is episode 70. This is episode 87, if you can believe it. Let me introduce the guest that we will be dropping in with today. Now, this guest's sister was on the first episode of the Whistler Kids, on episode 17, a mellow Winter Olympic champion in ski cross. Some big shoes to fill, but he seems up for the task. He, like many Whistler kids, began to ski from the time that he could walk. He started racing at the age of 11. Now, the 2014-15 winter season, he was only 21 years old and finished first in the NORAM Cup Super G standings. He also made his World Cup debut at age 21. It's pretty cool. Okay, battling through injuries, he qualified for his first Winter Olympics in 2018 at the Pyeongchang Games. Push on to winter 2021, when he was 27 years old, there was a huge celebration from Canadians as he earned his first career World Cup podium. He became the first Canadian man to stand on the World Cup Alpine podium in more than 4 years. So yes, we were all cheering. He has now represented Team Canada at 2 Winter Olympic Games, including the 2022 Beijing Games, in alpine ski racing, downhill Super G, and alpine combined. I'm happy to introduce this brother-son athlete, two-time Winter Olympian, and pretty amazing Whistler Kid Broderick Thompson.
Hello.
How
Thank
are
you.
you?
Thanks for having me.
Okay, you've done a lot in the ski racing world from a very young age. How are you today?
I'm pretty good. Tired from all the training, but
Yeah,
great. That's what it's for.
yeah, totally. Okay, so we start with 10 rapid fire questions. Your sister had to go through this. Are you ready to go through this?
I am ready.
Okay, number 1, where in the world are you today?
I'm in Whistler, white gold.
Does that happen often?
In the summer, it's nice. It's a nice change of pace. But I say to people, I'm on the road like 300 plus days a year almost, it feels like. So
Right,
it's nice to be
right?
back in Whistler.
Awesome. This is my favorite question for Whistler kids. Number 2, Whistler or Blackcomb?
Blackcomb. Blackcomb till I die.
Really? You grew
Oh,
up
yeah.
a Blackcomb kid?
Well, the proximity to our house in White Gold was a big thing. Spring
Okay.
skiing taken with our dad by bike with skis in the
Yeah,
back, and I think I just grew up on Blackcomb and
I love that. I
definitely have
love
a crew from Blackcomb. So
Okay, cool. That gives you the heartwarm feelings of being home, being on Blackcomb.
yeah, for
Mhm.
sure, 100%. But I
Yeah.
also grew up racing on Whistler, so I have a soft spot for Whistler as well.
Do you think, is that just, a training thing, or is that, you loved it there?
Blackcomb is like the mountain, the steeps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Okay.
Whistler is like I felt always a little more touristy and kinda weekenders, so I don't know, that's just how I the
No,
style
I
I grew
totally
up with,
respect it. I
yeah.
like the different views of it because 'cause I'm a Whistler kid, but that's just
Mhm.
because my parents went that way.
Yeah,
I
exactly,
mean,
it's
Blackcomb didn't exist.
proximity. Yeah, exactly.
So funny. Okay. Number 3. Alright, when you were younger, where was the hangout for, you and your crew? And then now, where is it?
I don't know, I was always too busy to hang out. The mountain, obviously, I feel like
Okay. Yeah,
whenever I had a spare minute, be going
totally.
skiing, yeah, or just hanging out Lost Lake, I feel like that was always a
Yeah, because that's nice and close
rest
too.
spot. Yeah, super
It's
close. So
it's funny as to, like, where you end up living is, like, you go to that closest lake, you go to that closest mountain. It's just
totally.
even though it's a very small town.
It's hard to get my friends to come from Creekside to go to Lost Lake because it's
Right.
such a pain.
I know,
Yeah,
I
like
know, I
50
know. That's so funny.
by bike.
Okay, and now where do you hang out now? I mean, if I were you, I would say the gym because I feel like you're just always there.
I'm constantly at the gym, but, I don't know. You come back and nothing really changes, so when I have a spare minute, walk up to Lost Lake, the
Yeah,
dog, and
nice,
spend a
nice.
bit of time in the summer there,
Yeah, it
but,
is getting busy up there. I
yeah.
mean, I live at Lost Lake, and I'm like,
I know, it is busy and when it's busy, but
yeah.
I've been fly fishing a lot on Green Lake too, which has been nice. It's quiet,
Oh,
so
out, like,
yeah.
at the spit?
Yeah, on the sandbar there by, where Fitzsimmons comes out. It's just pretty
Oh,
close to a bike too.
I just saw people out there, it was, like, the cutest thing, they were getting lessons.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, it was probably Jordan
Yeah.
Lang, Whistler Fishing Guides.
Very patient human. Very patient.
Typical.
Alright,
Classic.
number 4. Are you a morning person or a night owl?
If I need to be a morning person, I can swing it, but
Yeah,
I could stay up late and,
okay,
you
yeah.
know, work
Do you get
away.
do you get your workouts done, like, in the morning, or are you just working out
I
all day?
am definitely a morning workout person. I can work out in the afternoon if it's usually a second session, but
Yeah.
I prefer the bulk of it to be in the morning for sure.
Get it over and done with and then actually have a day.
And have energy. I feel like that's a big thing for me. Especially in the heat of the summer, it's like, oh, long days in the gym are
Yeah, totally, that's
draining.
wild. Well, and, like, I think being a Whistler kid, like, we tend to do a million sports a day, so
That's
get the
true. It's hard to it's hard to say no for sure. The other day I had like a workout and I had a run with the Oakley crew in the morning, then a workout, and then I played slow pitch. I might have even
okay.
biked that day too. But yeah, I was like drained the
Go,
whole
go,
time,
go.
but
I know, that's something
it's normal.
I learned that the hard way when I had my accident, and I was like, "Okay, I can't do anything," and I, like, realized, I was like, "Wow, I would normally, like, bike, walk, play tennis," or, like, in the summer, there's so many different sports to do, but you do, like, at least 3 to 5 sports a day, and you just didn't even know it.
Yeah,
It's so
that
wild.
that was eye-opening to me too when I had my big knee injury. Being
Mhm.
home was nice, but I couldn't do anything. So it's like
Right?
you're like the first winter I was home basically in 10 years in the mountain, it's dumping every day, and I'm like, "I'm just sitting here, can't do anything."
It
It sucks.
sucks. It is, like, such a game changer for sure. Okay, number 5. How do you
Halfway.
halfway, how do you start your morning?
Coffee. I
Period. That's
don't
it.
even know if I wake up first or not. But yeah, no, I like coffee. I've
Okay,
experimented with a lot of different coffee brewing styles, but I
that's
also
almost
like the drip coffee, so yeah,
what do you
that's an
have in your
easy one.
coffee? What do you have in your coffee?
Just a little milk.
That's it. That's all.
But
Okay.
I've done a lot of, like, espresso. I bought a machine, in the parking lot of the reuse center from some guy that was taking it there and, fixed it up. And
Yes.
then so, that it was pretty fun to learn a lot about coffee and how
Well,
to
I mean,
brew a good shot.
you're in Europe a lot, so I feel like you, like, must have good coffee when you're home now because they have such
Yeah,
good coffee.
for sure. I think
Uh,
I grew up kinda like my parents always put a pot of coffee on, I never liked it until I was a certain age, and
yeah,
then since I actually really enjoy a cup of drip coffee, and then, yeah, learning about everything in Europe and the history of it all was pretty cool.
that's
Different
nice.
taste.
I respect that. Early morning start with coffee. Number 6, if you had to choose, would you choose a book or TV or a streaming site?
I think it depends on the mood, but I'm a big movie guy, so I
Oh.
definitely like. to watch old movies, new
Okay.
movies,
Are
and
you like a sci-fi, a fantasy? What are you?
uh, I'm I would say classics. I don't know. I enjoy like The Godfather or like The Great
Okay.
Escape, like old movies, but also like a good movie, good TV.
Okay. What show are you watching right now? Anything?
Oh, there's a new Seth Rogen show on Apple TV
Oh,
that's been pretty funny.
I
It's called
do like him.
Platonic.
I
It's
do
about a
like
couple
him.
friends, yeah. But,
Okay.
yeah, anything that comes across.
Okay,
Entertaining.
and now you're okay, so you live for the listeners and the viewers, you live kind of close to the village,
Yeah,
and, we can right now we don't have a movie theater anymore, which is sad, but
sucks.
it super sucks. I was like every day I'm like, "Dang it, man, I wish we could go to the movies."
Yeah.
First world problems, but we do have movies in the plaza this summer, and I went, on Wednesday night and Saturday night to watch Maverick: Top Gun
Yeah.
because it's, like, my all-time favorite movie right now. Um, can you hear it from your house, or did you go?
No, usually you can hear, like, loud concerts, but no,
Okay.
my sister went. But that's a funny story because my fiancée, uh, she is notorious for falling asleep in movies, and Top Gun: Maverick is the one movie that she has, stayed awake
Because it's
and
so loud.
was locked in, so I always she's like, "How many movies have I stayed awake in?" And, I say,
You're like,
"Top Gun: Maverick." I don't even say it, but yeah, it's a good movie, and
"It is a
especially I
good
saw it was
movie."
playing there, I was just surprised, I was
I
impressed.
know. It was really good. So, I just love that movie. Okay. Number 7, name one thing that you've learned the hard way. That's a hard question.
I feel like it's I feel like I wouldn't regret this, but I always sent it a little too hard, I feel like, and
Ah,
I think I've more developed a skill in skiing to be a little more in control and a little more like thought out. And
yeah,
I don't know if it was like a moment that I learned it or if I'm still developing it, but that's definitely something in my sport that just like
super interesting.
have a little more process and be in control a little more.
I like that. That's hard to do sometimes when you're like, I wanna go top speed, but try and, like, take
Exactly.
down a notch just to stay
Because
in control.
yeah, I think growing up I was always like hammer and
Yeah,
you feel fast, but then you realize that you can also be just as fast if you're
in
kind of
control.
strong and in a good position. Which I'm
Totally.
sure
That
it's similar for snowboarding and stuff. Like you watch guys that are just hucking themselves,
yeah,
and then you watch guys that are like
in full
Scotty
control.
James. It seems like he's always in control and stuff like
Totally. The
guys like
game
that.
is totally changed in snowboarding, at least. Like, I was thinking about this the other day. Um, like, the first pro snowboarders really to come on the scene, they would work out, but they would, like, hide that they were working out.
Mm.
And I know in ski racing, you guys, like, that is a majority of your routine is working out, and you've never hidden it. It's always been
Yeah,
necessary because you take high speed crashes sometimes.
high speed crashes, a lot of G's. Yeah, it's
It's
definitely necessary in our sport.
yeah, it's
But I think it's
wild.
benefiting a lot of guy moving right in the gym with like Julia and Truth, and they're hammering in the gym these days too. So it's pretty cool to see um, that
That
kind of
it
step up a bit in snowboard because
right?
in the last
I
like
would be
15
yeah,
years,
I would be the reluctant one. I'd be like, "Oh, I have to go to the gym again." But by the end of my career, I was like, "Yeah, I need to go to the gym."
yeah, which is cool. You saw the whole transition
It
almost.
was wild. It was so wild. Okay, so staying in control, that's a really good one. Okay, so I had Bo Jarvis on who's been helping you out.
Yeah.
And when I asked him that question, he's like, "Everything?" I was like, "Yeah, everything." Number 8, what is your favorite sport?
Favorite sport. I like a lot of sports, but I
Alright,
think
just
skiing.
name off all the
Skiing.
sports
It's
that you
gotta be
do.
skiing. Oh, all the sports I do: skiing, biking. baseball. I figure skated until I was 16, volleyball, soccer, uh, water skiing, lots of
Everything and anything you can do
yeah,
in Whistler.
yeah.
Plus, plus,
Anything
plus.
I could fit in, honestly, it was a lot.
Mhm, yeah, totally. Number 8, number 9, we're almost there. Lakes or mountains? You can say
It's
both.
so dependent. I'm saying both, just Whistler in general.
I know. I say that because we have both, and it's like so awesome here. It's
Yeah,
really
I do
cool.
like a good lake, good clear lake.
Yeah.
Mountain lakes around here are nice, and
Have you ever
mountains
been
tough.
s- have you
I
ever
don't
been
have
swimming in Green Lake?
I when I was younger, Cody Wilson, we grew up together,
Yeah.
and they always had a boat, and they always thought I was crazy for wanting to go, like,
Oh,
without a wetsuit.
yeah. Yeah.
And, but I don't think I've really, like, gone for a swim in Green Lake. I've, like,
Dunked in.
wakeboarded and wake surfed, but
Yeah.
never just been, like
Casually swimming in a
Lost Lake's so
glacier.
close. Yeah.
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 Lost Lake's so much warmer. So for our listeners that don't know Whistler that well, Lost Lake's a smaller lake, and then Green Lake is just like comes from full glacier water. Like we all the lakes are glacier fed, but this one's just bigger and deeper
Comes
and
straight from up there.
freezing.
Yeah.
And it has a crazy undertow, so like not the smartest place to swim, but
No, I've got a
good for a dunk. You
I've been
what?
close to I've been close to the, drop off there in my waders, and it gets a little scary.
I When I was growing up, there was a story, and I still don't know. Jazz and I, my friend, don't know if it's like true, but there was like we were told that there was like a brother and a sister in a canoe. One fell out, one went to get them, and then one got taken out by the undertow. I was like, I'm good. I'm not going in that lake. I don't need to.
Yeah,
Like,
no
it's
thanks. Also,
wild.
you can't see anything under, like, 2 feet in that, like, 'cause of all the glacial till or whatever it is.
Yeah, yeah. It is beautiful, but freezing.
Yeah.
All right, number 10, the last one. What is one core memory from your childhood in Whistler?
Uh, I think just, like, chasing my sister and my dad around on the ski hill from when I was, like, as young as I can remember, probably, like,
Yeah.
3 years old. But
So
I remember my dad had, like, he had the little leash, but I was like, "No, no thanks." I'll just try to keep up to Marielle, you know?
Oh my gosh. Was that like that's it, you're done the rapid fire.
Sweet.
Now we get to talk about growing up in Whistler. But yeah, I
Cool.
wanna talk about, like, you chasing your sister around, because it's similar, I would have to, like, chase my brother around. Did you guys grow up in ski scamps as well?
We did, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was pretty
Um,
awesome.
it was. My mom has a funny story that one time the person asked if I even wanted to ski, and I was like, "No, I'd rather stay inside and watch a movie." Like at a mid mountain there, and
Yeah,
because
yeah,
I
yeah.
ski all the time, I'm like, if you're giving me the option, I'm not. I'm just gonna watch a movie.
Amazing,
But
amazing.
after ski camps, yeah, I feel like my parents took us skiing a lot more just to get our energy out, probably than anything. But
Yeah.
um, I feel like there's a long time where I couldn't beat her at like a lot of things, and then one day I started being better and bigger and stronger, and it made her
Yeah.
better. And I think that's how it worked out well for her. She's 2 years older than me.
To put it mildly, it worked out well. Olympic gold medal, still going
Exactly.
on to more and more Olympics,
She has
like,
me to thank for it.
pretty awesome. But you also have another sister who's an amazing figure skater.
Yes, we do. The
Which
forgotten one. Yes,
it's kinda like the Janik family where, like,
totally. Exactly the same, actually.
Mike and Britt and then Steph, and Steph's such an
Mhm.
amazing human. So
She
what's
is.
your younger sister up to?
She just graduated, from UBC in kinesiology, so she's
Oh.
stoked that she can hold that over our heads.
She's
But,
like, "I can fix you all."
exactly, yeah, but she's just yeah, same old. Nothing
Busy,
much
busy.
changes in the Thompson house.
Oh, well, other than, like, you're all gone all the time, and I know your mom's, like, a very busy human as well,
That's
and
very
you're
true, yeah.
So awesome. So let's talk about growing up in Whistler. You said you biked everywhere in town, and I have talked about the Valley Trail system
Mhm.
on this series and how awesome it is. Like, are you a like a downhill biker?
No, not really at all. Actually, I hadn't been in the park in like 10 years, and
Okay.
I only went a few times before, but then I went this weekend and it was super fun. I would
Yeah,
do it all the time if I could risk my body as much as that, but um it's fun. Super fun.
it
But
is fun. How is
more
your
valley rider.
okay, so you're
Like
like trails.
enduro XC, yeah.
Of
Mhm.
course you're enduro. Ugh.
Well, enduro isn't really like I don't even know why
Is
you
it just
call it
like
enduro. Ups
cross
and downs,
country?
basically.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit bigger bike, a little more like up and down, but
Yeah, but like for a normal person, the kind of biking you're doing is like ridiculous levels, I'm sure.
yeah, I'm just trying to keep up to my teammates. They're sending, and it's inspiring, but it's also sketchy for a skier because we got to be ready to go when
Yeah,
November rolls around.
totally. Do you have a road bike as well?
I do, yes.
Are
I've
you
had
one of the ones that go out to the Callahan?
I haven't actually this year, which is impressive, but I do. I went to Pemberton and back the other day.
Oh, casual, casual.
I ride up Stonebridge and Caden Road and stuff, but going out to the Callahan, it's a lot of busy
Or
drivers, fast
y
drivers and stuff
yeah,
to get
yeah.
there, so
I
I
just
kind of
remember being in
really
the
avoid it.
gym. I remember being in the gym and seeing, like, the list of, like, people that had done the bike and their
Yeah.
times, and I was
Mhm.
like, "Well, I don't even know what's going on there."
You should do it.
I've
I
never
was
been
just
on a road bike.
never wow. Yeah, it's I wouldn't say it's something you need to do in your life, but it's definitely a good training tool for our sport because it's like, develops some big legs.
Yeah, no, I think if I did it, I'd get addicted. That's my personality,
That's also true, yeah. You
and,
should do the Grand Fondo one year, Vancouver to Whistler.
somehow working for RBC in the Olympians program, I
Mm,
got out of it, like, every year.
I'm
I didn't
impressed actually, like, you were with
I
RBC
think
and you didn't have to ride
I
from
know, I know,
Whistler.
I was like, "I'll go to Toronto this summer."
Smart.
No, we also had, like, amazing cyclists on our team, like Zach Bell, and I was like, "He can do it. I think he's gonna be, like,
Yeah,
the
he'll
one."
rep it harder.
Oh,
Yeah,
man. Have you ever done the Grand Fondo? That's the
I
bike
I
race
did,
up from Vancouver to Whistler, for those that don't know.
yes.
You did?
Yeah, I did. I was probably I don't know, it was one of the first few years that they did it,
Yeah.
and we did it kind of as a team,
Okay.
and, we just did normal training. It's not like we trained especially for it, and it was pretty fun. It was, I think, like, just under 4 hours,
Oh my
so, yeah.
god. So casual, so
I would do it
casual.
again for sure, but we'll see.
Um I'm gonna be there cheering you on. I'm not gonna do it. I do want to chat about like the transition from like figure skating and all these sports into you becoming a full-time skier. When did that transition happen? And like if it was in school, how did you adapt to everything?
Um, I was 16 basically. I had to quit. Well, I had to make more time for skiing,
Yeah.
and, so I was 16, so I guess grade 10, grade 11,
Yeah. Mellow
and
years.
yeah, and, I hated quitting sports. Like, I had a tough time quitting soccer when I was younger, a few
Okay.
years younger than that, and then, like, missing volleyball or, like, trying to do track and field and just telling the teacher, "Oh, I can't come to practice." So they'd be like, "Oh, if you don't come to practice, you can't compete or whatever." And I'd be like, it's not like I'm not training and stuff like that, but it was always a tough blow to take when I had to drop another sport for
Yeah.
more time in one. But by the end, I came to terms with it, and I put everything like you're still training like 6, 7 days a week anyway for skiing in the
Yeah.
gym and biking and whatever it needed. So it stayed active, and I'm grateful for the path I took.
Yeah, for sure. Not an easy choice to drop sports that you love, but I
Mhm.
mean, you're still playing softball, which is awesome. And there's, I mean, that's such a great community. Your family's been in that for
It
years and
is.
years.
Yeah,
I
it's
just,
pretty
I
pretty
actually
fun.
just got a text from Jordan Kabelka being like, "Can you play on Thursday?" And I was like, "Absolutely not." Like,
Yeah, usually I play Thursday, but this year it's Tuesday and Thursday, and I played Tuesday. And then I
I
made, like, a team dinner with, Tom Akama, Tokyo Tom.
yeah,
And,
amazing.
and, so and then someone asked me to play on another team on Thursday, and I'm like, "Ah, I really would like to, but I've made this team dinner, and it's miraculously come together, so I can't play this on
Aw,
Thursday."
so sweet.
But
Now, does your sister still play too?
yep, we play on the same team. My parents' team, after 30 years, we shut it down, the
Okay.
Dreamers.
Yeah.
Like, Mr. Rhymer was on that team, and,
Oh
like,
my
a lot of
gosh.
legends came through it, but, we play with, another team now, the Bootleggers, Nestor's
Oh, nice. Nice.
Boots liquor store, so yeah.
That's so
Yeah,
fun.
it's a fun team.
It is,
Definitely lots of community. It's like
right?
a
Like,
family.
that is the core community, I would say.
It is, it's cool that it hasn't changed all that much. Like, I grew up at the ballpark, and there's
Yeah.
little kids running around with no shoes on, and, in the sand and in the swamp, and I was like, "That was me
Yeah, totally.
25
Well,
years ago."
that's the thing that I'm trying to get across is, like, Whistler, yes, it's a resort town, but we have an amazing community. And, like, I'm sure that you felt it coming home and, like, when you're injured about, like, everyone helping you, having such great support systems. I'm pretty sure, like, I can't think of another community that has, like, as many physios and
That's definitely true.
people that
Every other
help us
person.
out. So,
Yeah, I
yeah,
was
and
actually thinking about that coming up coming on the show. I'm like, came in with a pretty open mind, but I'm like, what about Whistler? And then I thought, it's the community that makes it what it is, and the
totally.
people, and always motivating and accepting you for being an athlete, and rather than say, "What are you doing wasting your time?" But everyone's always like, "Go for it. You got this." You
It's
know?
so true. Did you ever have, like, anyone along the way be like, I think you should be going to school. I think you should be, like, doing
Well, the
something
funny thing, my
different."
dad, obviously legendary Whistler teacher, Mr. T,
Y
um, he supported a lot of athletes along the way, and I think he saw that from a young age. It was the new teachers that came to town that, like, he had to sit down and be like, "You gotta chill." Like, most of these kids either wanna go skiing or are away skiing, so you gotta,
Yeah.
like, accept that they're gonna miss time, but they'll catch up, and it always worked out, it seemed like, for at least me and my friends, so yeah.
Um, Me too. Your dad is, like, a legend, and I didn't know that fun fact, like, I didn't know that, like, he had to that's really cool, like, sitting down the teachers and being like,
Oh, yeah.
just a heads up." And then if
100%. I think it happened to me, like, a couple new teachers one year.
yeah,
Had missed, like, maybe 25 days in the first couple months,
yeah, yeah, for
and
sure.
they were like, We can't you can't be missing this for school." But I wasn't, like, losing grades or anything, but
Yeah.
I was missing tests, and
I
they were
I still don't know how I fully graduated, to be complete I, like people are like, "How'd you graduate?" I'm like, "Pretty much, I'm sure with art." I took a
Exactly.
lot of art classes, and a huge kudos to your dad.
Yeah, it's funny looking back, like, I was, at, an Oakley dinner with Sean Pettit the other day, and I remember he's a few years older than me, but there was, like, a class that we all needed to do, like, online courses
Oh, yeah.
to, like, buff out our, our year, and it was, like, me, Callum Pettit, Sean,
Yeah,
Devin White, like, all these guys that were, just needing a couple extra credits because we missed school, or
yeah,
so
yeah.
it was pretty funny
I
thinking
mean,
about that.
I think about this kind of often as to how many Olympic athletes or professional athletes your dad helped through school.
You should get him on the podcast, it'd be hilarious.
I want to. I totally want to.
He would be like, I don't think he's used a computer more than 5 times since he retired from being a teacher, but
Well, I do wanna get,
pretty
like,
good.
a Legends series going for, like, Whistler old stories and stuff like that, so
Yeah.
he's definitely high on my list. Oh,
That'd be
man,
funny.
going to school here is something else. Everyone's like, "Wait, there's school in Whistler?" I'm like, "Yes, there's school in Whistler."
I know, I was actually talking to someone about that the other day, and they're like, "Yeah, it's a
I
normal community," and I
yeah.
feel like the stuff you see on the outside, you go look around the empty houses, big mansions, it's like, those aren't the people where people live in Whistler, really, it seems like
Mhm.
it's like
We
the
got
other
root we got
you
actual
point to all
roots
the over
here.
the place you see where your friends grew up and stuff. I feel like
Yeah.
20 years ago was a little different, like, there was a lot more smaller houses and
Yeah, it's changing a little bit, but
yeah,
the best thing is, like, I don't know if you're, like, talking about a subdivision in Whistler and you're you're like, "Oh, you know, where Jazz used to live," or like, "Where so and so
exactly,
lives."
yeah,
You're like, "I don't actually know the name of the road."
mhm. Yeah, someone
That's
asked me for an address the other day because of something, and I was like, "It's the house past their house." And I'm like, "Oh, you actually wouldn't understand that because you have no idea that."
yeah, 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 exactly,
Yeah.
I love it. Oh, man. Roderick, anything else about growing up in Whistler? I mean, chasing your sister down the hill, has really paid off for your whole family, I would say.
Yeah, definitely true. It's been fun for sure growing up here, and, I think, like, the group of friends I had from a young age, we're all doing different stuff in the outdoor world, and, if it was a different path, like, one of my best friends growing up just down the street in White Gold, Bryn Alexander is a big snowboarder, and, I think it's cool just to see how our paths we started together, and then we're totally at the top on different spectrums, so I think that was kinda what Whistler provides, and,
Yeah.
I think it's pretty cool.
I mean, I also think it creates probably some of the most humble athletes in the world because, I mean, people are like, "What? You're an Olympian?" And you're like, "Oh, yeah, but, like, I have, like, a plethora of friends that live in this town that are Olympians."
Yeah.
Or,
I think
like,
the town
very
humbles you and the mountain
yeah.
humbles you always, but
Yeah, for sure, for sure.
just
What's
people.
the people, such good
Yes,
people. What's up
people.
next in your, repertoire? Because currently we are July 13th, 2023. What's going on for you in your schedule
I
coming
go
up?
to Europe I go to Europe July 23rd to ski,
Oh,
in
nice.
Zermatt. Yeah, Zermatt for the first 2 weeks, and then come back for a little bit, and then we head to Chile, so
Amazing.
going to snow pretty quick, back to winter, but it'll be fun. It's been a good, little little break from the snow, so
Yeah,
it'll be, good to get back on snow and start training.
there you go. On snow, which is better than in the gym, I always thought.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Well, Broderick, where can people find you online if they wanna follow what you've been up to?
Instagram, Broad Thompson. Yeah,
Awesome.
pretty chill.
Perfect. Thank you so much for dropping in today. Always great
Yeah,
to see your face.
thanks for having me, it was super fun.
Have a good one.
Thanks.
So much for dropping in today. You can find everything you want to know about dropping in with Mercedes at droppinginwithmercedes.com. Don't forget to subscribe on Apple, Spotify, and YouTube. Thanks DJ Kenosis for the music and my mom for the intro voice.